Welcome to another edition of Logical Discourse. I am the naughty professor, saying good evening. Today, our guests, a duo nasheed group based in Nigeria, performing a cappella rhythms, tangled with inspirational and Islamic messages. I introduce to you, Crescent's Nasheed. It is a pleasure to be here, Professor. Thank you for inviting us to your platform. Your partner, Abu Khalid, is not here. Hope all is well. Well, he traveled out of the country yesterday. For what? If I may ask? It is confidential, Professor. Ah, I see. Muslims and being secretive, the same tactics applied for suicide bombing. Excuse me. I thought this discussion is centered on Crescent's Nasheed's craft? Where is this very irrelevant submission of yours emanating from? I understand, it is normal you get emotional. However, you can't dispute that not all Muslims are terrorists, but all terrorists are Muslims. What the heck is funny? That is, the most vacuous, witless, boneheaded, gormless, dorky, oarfish, lame-brained and the most unintelligent statement ever made, Professor. I know you are not the author of that quote, but those who make reference to it are just as dumb as he is. Save us the diction. Isn't the justification of suicide bombing embedded in your Quran? Ignorance, indeed, is a disease. Had I known I'm being invited to the platform of a bigot, I would have used my precious time for more beneficial deeds. Don't be dodgy, answer the question. Me? Being dodgy? I don't think so. In Quran 5, verse 32, Allah said, if anyone killed a person, excluding the punishment of murder, it would be as if he killed the whole of mankind, and if anyone saved a life, it would be as if he saved the whole of mankind. Therefore in Islam, suicide itself is a grave sin. Got it? Okay, got it. But I read from an impeccable source that suicide bombers are given free entry into paradise. How true is that? Impeccable source indeed. The idiots bombing themselves should know that, if the claim of attaining paradise is through suicide bombing, then the liar, who confused them to perpetrate such act, would have considered it first. On another page, am I here to discuss about Crescent's Nasheed, or you are just being mischievous? Ah, that reminds me. Why are so-called Muslim countries war-torn? Are Muslim countries war-torn internally, or rather with external influence, from the self-acclaimed world police? There we go again. Blaming the West for your own self-afflicted woes. What would you say about Yemen, Palestine, Syria and others? To start with, I never mentioned the West, but now that you've brought it into the discussion, fine. All the countries you made reference to are being used as proxy war ground by the so-called Western powers excluding Palestine. As for Palestine, imagine someone step into your home as a stranded stranger, seeking accommodation, which you granted wholeheartedly, suddenly turn out to evacuate you, by all means necessary from your home. Are you just going to stand akimbo, and do nothing? Well, I concur, that the Palestinians are being treated as prisoners, on their own land by the occupation. But we need to commend the US for its intervention in the Syrian war. You know, Professor, I'm in a state of shock, by your vituperative submissions. You don't have to be rash with your responses. The fact that we are not on the same page is not a yardstick for you to address me anyhow. Oh, 1,000 apologies. You mean, we should commend the US for bombing Syria, because Syria was bombing Syria, and in order to prevent Syria from bombing Syria, the US decided to bomb Syria, by shooting a missile costing billions of dollars, on a $2 tent? And who are the beneficiaries? The same world-policing nations, selling weapons to the same regime they are bombarding. And who are the casualties? Innocent civilians. Is it until I tell you you don't have sense, Professor? How dare you call me senseless? Rather than apologizing for the atrocities committed by Muslims, you are here tongue-lashing me. Did you just say apologize? I'm sorry to disappoint you. If you think I'm an apologetic Muslim, you are damn wrong. The first suicide bombing is not of Islamic origin. The invasion of countries, under the guise of searching for WMD, the Holocaust, slave trade, the rampant shootings, et al. Have you ever called out people sharing the same religion, with those evil perpetrators, to apologize on their behalf? The title of your show is The Logical Discourse. It is somewhat ironic that the host of the show is not even logical in thought. Okay, this is where we will drop the curtain of today's edition. Remember, the show is Logical Discourse, and before we sign out, Mr. I have an opinion about everything. Any general comment? Of course, yes. I used to have the notion that all bald people are intelligent, like my friend, Senior Ahmed. But you've proved otherwise.